How's it going, team? Welcome back to another episode of the Average Jacks podcast, where we talk to everyday legends who are out there making a difference. I'm your host, Jack McKeenan, and today we've got an awesome guest joining us. We're sitting down with Kav Ellison, Rugby League coach for the Chorley Panthers and Team Colostomy UK ambassador. In this episode, we dive into what it means to be a coach and an ambassador, and how Kav manages to juggle all of that alongside working full-time, being a dad, and still finding time for his own hobbies and personal goals. Kav also opens up about his own journey living with a stoma. He shares his experience and helps shed light on a topic that affects more people than you might think. It's an honest and educational conversation that you won't want to miss. But before we get started, I want to give out a massive shout out to our sponsor, Vita Strength. They've got some amazing fitness gear and you can get 20% off with the code AverageJack at www.vitastrength.co.uk. And as always, for more content, updates and episodes, head over to www.jackmckeenan.co.uk. You can check out all them links in the description down below and where to find out more about Team Colostomy and Kav. So, let's get into it. Peace.
I always find these ones worse when I know the person like well.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because you're trying to focus on getting things right, even though you'd have a conversation 2 minutes ago off camera.
Yeah, I know. Like it feels sort of like it's regardless.
Hello. Like we don't know each other.
No,
we never
no.
met and just chilled. That's right.
Yeah, but here we are. Finally,
Finally, we've got it done.
Yeah.
Got it boxed off, ready, going.
So the reason I wanted you on is because just you can list me if I'm wrong here.
Go on.
So dad,
Yes.
rugby league coach,
Yes.
full-time job,
Yes.
Team Colostomy ambassador.
Yes.
Anything else I've missed? Shooter.
I like to go shooting.
You know, partial to outdoor activities.
I try and fit the gym in. Majority of things, really, I like to get involved in. In all honesty, I'd rather I weren't so busy sometimes, but I can't help it.
Why?
I don't know. It's just trying to fit everything in.
Feel like you become overwhelmed by.
Sometimes, yeah. I think this year, well, this past few months, like with rugby season, having a second child and everything piling up, and then wanting to go shooting, or trying to go to gym after work, or thinking, oh God, I could do with doing more standbys for more money, but then I've got kids to look after, want to be at home with family, etc. And it's like, it's getting a bit too much. So I don't know, it's hard to juggle, but that's why we do it, isn't it? That's why we love everything. We like to get involved in everything.
Do you think that's what it like comes down to, is sort of the passion aspect of it, and that's why it keeps you there?
Yeah, and I think, like I said, this year, I think that's what I've kind of struggled with, kind of spreading that passion out in between each thing. Like I feel like, I think 1 minute I want to sack that off and do more of this, but then I think, no, I don't want to sack that off, but I do want to do more of that, and then I don't want to do more of that. I want to go down another avenue doing something else, and like I'll do like 4 or 5 nights a week in gym here for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, and then I think, oh no, I want to be out shooting, or we've got training or whatever. And it's just juggling everything, and I'd like to say I'm passionate. I'm quite passionate about a lot of things, and especially all them, like you said, but it does become a point where you think, it's hard work, this.
Yeah, and like not giving away too much of yourself as an individual by giving too much to these things as like events and their own entities. Like being a rugby league coach, which I am interested to ask you about, must be fucking carnage, mate.
It is.
Because not only have you got 2 kids at home, you've got fucking 38 on a Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and I'm one of them. Yeah. But like, how do you even sort of navigate that?
I don't even know. The amount of times though that likes of you and other lads have said it, I don't even know, because it wasn't a plan to do. I never thought, I'm going to coach. It was years ago, I can't remember how long ago, I dislocated my elbow, and then Mick Oxley just said, just come and help me. you know, just mucking with me, whatever. And then it kind of went from there, really. I'd said to my boss, he put me on like these training courses for the job I do now, and I said to him, listen, I'm not going to play again because my job is my hands. I fix live electric cables, and getting injured, I can't really do it. So that was really, they tied in. Like when I said I weren't going to play, I did my level 2 coaching, and then mucked in with Mick and a couple of other lads along the way, and that's how I took that on. But trying to juggle all them, it's the personalities, and I think that's what people don't see. They see like the chaos, like you said, 30, 40, whatever lads, like in summer, like touching 50 lads down there, and you think, wow. But it were a bit overwhelming because it weren't expected, especially this year. It's trying to, I don't know, you're trying to deal with everyone's personality and treat them differently in different ways, because you know that what works for one doesn't work for the other. But I do think that's getting harder work as well. I think it's always changing, coaching in different ways. Dealing with them personalities, I think, is getting very, very difficult in a way. Very different to what it used to be, especially when I started open age rugby playing. Completely different.
I think rugby has a lot of big personalities though as well.
Yeah.
I think it's one of them sports where, well, I've played rugby, we've played rugby all of our lives, but there's a certain calibre of person that plays rugby.
Yeah.
And it's not really a sport where you can hide.
No, not really.
So I think if you have one of them personalities where you are maybe quiet or sort of one that isn't bothered about raising your voice, you will sort of naturally just go to that at the edge, wouldn't you? But the majority of people are all like loudmouth, keen, want to be involved.
Keen,
And so the man management of that must be like its own sort of job. Because people, like I said, people don't probably understand where you probably get so many messages from the individuals, but people see you as like a point of...
Even that's gone way... I don't want to say worse because it makes me sound like it's a bad thing, but like the contact from people, like when we first started open age, I can't even remember how we just said availability at training, I think, and that were it. And then we went to a Facebook page, and you just said your availability on a post on there, and then it's gone to WhatsApp and stuff like that. But like with social media and communication, it's non-stop.
Yeah.
But then I think it's also nice because then you find like you end up being mates. You probably end up being more mates with more players. Well, your teammates at the end of the day, aren't you? I know I coach, but you know it's strange really, because you know you're forever talking to someone in a way, which is good. But a lot of lads, they reach out in different ways as well. You know, some lads won't say anything here, and then I'll get a message half an hour after training, or just about this, and it's like, you could have told me that half an hour ago. But you know, if they want to say it over a message, that's fine. But it can be difficult. But
and it comes back to that again, isn't it? About not spreading yourself too thin. And I imagine it's very difficult to disconnect. And I imagine like the rugby more than anything. Because it's not that as well. You've also got Team Colostomy, which we'll get into in a minute. You're an ambassador for that.
Yeah.
But you also do a lot for that as well.
Yeah.
And probably like more than what meets just the eye. You do a lot of the socials and stuff, don't you? Like,
I've done quite a bit for socials. For Chorley or for Colostomy? Both. So Chorley, I do Instagram, but then we've got Connor and Matt on this year, which has helped a shed load. Really helped me this year, which I'm so glad I did. It's took a lot of pressure off. I know it sounds daft, a lot of pressure off me putting stuff on, because it's not that it's not just on me, but they can do stuff as well, and they're much better at it than me as well.
Yeah.
And then like the social media side of Colostomy, like just retweeting stuff and reposting stuff and helping other people and chatting to other people. If like they get quite a lot of people reaching out, and we'll be asked if do you mind talking to such body, or if they're local to here, do you mind if you go meet them or whatever, which I've done before. But yeah, it's going back to finding time, managing it all again.
Yeah. So touching on Team Colostomy though, we'll go into that if that's all right.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, do you want to tell your story about you came across that and got involved with it?
When was I ill? 2014. Was it 2014? I think it was. I ended up with what's called ulcerative colitis. Basically, an inflammatory bowel disease. I had it for about a year or so. Various treatments, tablets, steroids, injections, all sorts. Now we're working. Got took into hospital for, I think it was 3 weeks. 3 weeks. You're gonna have to have a bag. 30 seconds of madness, crying.
Yeah.
Move on, get on with it. Then I had a bag, and then I can't remember when I actually saw the tweet, but Giovanni, who works for Colostomy UK, he put a tweet out saying, anyone Rugby League World that has a bag or whatever, reach out to us. We're interested in starting something. So I can remember being at work, I were in Leeds or somewhere, and I'd seen this tweet and replied or messaged, and he messaged straight back, "Can I ring you?" So I was like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah.
He rang me straight away and he was like, "Listen, I'm thinking, I work for this charity. I've been involved with Broncos and stuff like that down in London, and development of rugby in London, and I want to get something sorted for this charity. And like, obviously what you've said, you fit the profile. Would you be interested?" So I was like, "Yeah, definitely." And I kind of took it with a pinch of salt at first. I kind of thought, yeah, it's just, I never thought this isn't going to happen or this is going to happen. I just kind of thought, yeah,
indifferent order.
Yeah, I just thought we'll just see what happens. And then, what year was that then? So that'll been, might be wrong, but it was like 2017 or 18 or something. We had our first game in Kent at Medway, and then it's just progressed from there. Really, it's just gone. It's been a bit mad at times, really, with the exposure we've got and how much work they've done as well, and reaching out to different areas. Like we've had what we had here now, 3 games here, and then the one at Widnes with Chorley the last month. But the exposure that's created it's been unreal, really. It's been mad. Like opening the Mirror newspaper and like there's a picture of me there with my bag out. The 4 of us, and it's like, whoa, how?
And so you obviously said that it was like 2014 when you was ill, and then there was 2017 when Team
something I can't remember the year precisely.
There was a gap though, wasn't there?
Yeah.
What was that? Obviously, like going from when you obviously got told you was having your bag and things, and then this time of not having maybe rugby as you knew it.
Yeah.
How was that mindset wise? Obviously you said that you had that 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Fucking world's changed. Yeah. Absolutely completely. But like, there requires I imagine, obviously I don't know, but it must be a mindset change there of like, you've got to sit down and think, right, back to the drawing board.
Yeah, and I actually think it was in that, I said 30 seconds, it was like, I can remember the consultant coming in. What it was, I'd gone in really ill, and at the time thinking, yeah, I'm ill, but looking back, I was really ill.
Yeah.
I should have gone in way before that, but I didn't because I'm stubborn. And then I think I did about 10 days, and they said, right, we're going to pump you full of these steroids through a drip, and we'll see how you go. And then it got to the point where they were like, right, we're gonna have another look with camera, see how you are, and then we're gonna decide. And it was weird. Before all this, when I was going through one of the last treatments, I went doing round seeing family. Me and my girlfriend George, and we went to my nan's, and my nan was like, "Oh, how's this treatment?" And I went, and I'd not actually said this to George or anything. I don't know why I said it. I went, "I'm going to end up with a bag." And my nan was like, "Oh, why'd you say that?" And I can't remember at the time, but I don't think George really said anything. But then after, she was like, "Why have you said that?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't really know why I've said it, but I've just got a feeling I am."
Yeah.
Really weird.
Yeah.
And then fast forward however long it were, a few months, like I said, going back, the consultant come in and said, listen, it ain't working. You know, it's improved, but it ain't going to improve enough, and you're just going to end up in the same situation. It's just a violent circle, trial error.
Yeah.
So you know you're going to have a bag, and that was pretty much it. He come in, said that I'll give you a moment, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I was sat at Chorley in a ward, in my own room in a ward, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like crying, thinking, what the fuck am I going to do now?
Yeah.
And it was weird because it was probably more than like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then my auntie worked at the hospital at the time. She bobbed in, and then I think I broke down to her briefly. And then it was visiting time, more or less. And then my mum, I think my dad was away, my mum, George, and my granddad come, and then I broke down again. I think that was more. I think I broke down more because I seen my granddad break down then.
Yeah.
But I think after them 3 steps, I was fine.
Yeah.
There were no. It's weird because I think there was no great nervousness.
No.
Like, oh God, what am I going to be like now? I think it was just more like this is it. It's tough, isn't it?
It's definitive, isn't it? Yeah, he's come in and said, this is happening.
You've been told, and that's it. And I think at the time, they said, right, what we're going to do, we're going to move you to Preston for the operation. We'll get it done as soon as possible. So I got moved to, I got ill in Chorley, ended up with a chest infection. Then they were on about blue lighting me to Preston, but I were all right. So they just sent me in in normal ambulances. Yeah. So I got sent there. Then they cancelled my op because of the chest infection. Moved it to 4 or 5 days later. Cancelled it again because I was still ill. And then what they said were, right, we're going to send you home. We're going to give you this diet plan. Try and put as much weight on as you can. We'll weigh you now. And just, we'll see you in 3-4 weeks. I think it was 3 weeks something. But in that 3 weeks that I've been in, just because of the illness, because I'd not been mooching about walking, I'd lost 4 stone. And one regret of the whole thing, I don't have any pictures of how bad I were.
Yeah.
I can remember lying in bed in hospital thinking, wow, my legs are well uncomfy. Yeah, and it was the bones of my legs touching each other.
Yeah.
And look, when I mentioned it to George, she was like, yeah, you were like a skeleton. But 11 stone to some people, obviously, he's normal.
Yeah. 11
stone to me is whoa.
Emaciated.
Yeah, I've not been that since 13 or something.
Yeah.
And it were it was weird. I got sent home, and then I went on a really beige diet, but it was if you want some Victoria sponge, get 2. If you want custard creams, eat 6 or 7 because you need to put this weight on before we bring you back in. So I were back in on September the 11th of all days. I remember they rung me and said, yeah, come in. And even that, I was looking through before, yesterday when I was thinking what we were going to talk about and that, and trying to remember my mind frame and that. And I put a couple of things on Instagram, little motivational posts and stuff like that. And I don't know, I wasn't how can I put it? I didn't really reach out to many people. I kind of just got on with it, Do
you regret that?
I think the regret bit of the picture, like I just said, and probably not showcasing. That's probably the wrong word, but putting it out there what I was going through. Yeah. Now, at the time, there wasn't anything like that though. There was there were Instagram, there were Facebook and everything, but there was none of these pages where you go for help. There was little bits of pages where you go for help, but there was no let's look at his profile and have a look for, what he's been through and how he's coped with things. I don't really remember seeing much of that. There was the odd group, but not like there is now. But even then, saying that, I'm not a massive fan of stuff like that now.
Yeah.
So maybe looking back, it was probably a good thing I didn't.
Yeah.
Or it's probably, it makes more sense if I think of it like that. I don't mind these pages, and everyone's different and likes help and stuff, but it's not really for me.
No. I suppose, like you said, everyone's different and they've got their own way of dealing with these things and tools that they use.
Yeah.
And like you said before, like you said, like being stubborn and like knowing you're probably just like gunned down and like, I'm not letting this sort of get on top of me.
Yeah.
But I imagine there's a lot of people that it does.
Oh yeah. I've spoke to quite a lot of people, well, over the years since having it, trying to help them and stuff, and everyone copes. Obviously, we know everyone copes differently, but like some people, as horrible as it sounds, I find it hard when people don't reach out, but everyone's different.
Yeah.
But I've spoke to a few people, and I'm like, come, I'll meet up with you, or do you want me to show you this, or do you want me to show you these, or different bags or whatever, and it's like, no. Or like I've had it a few times where I've been past parents' emails or been CC'd in an email. We have a chat with my son. He I don't know if he play. I think there's been a couple that play rugby. Can you have a chat with him? And I'm like, yeah, of course, yeah. Pass my number on, or normally add me on Instagram.
Yeah.
And drop me a message like, what was it called? Josh.
Yeah.
Like Josh, you said, do you mind? Yeah, not a problem. That's fine. I'll have a chat with him. And I think I've had quite a few that have never reached out. Now, whether that's intentional, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then it's the parent trying to do the legwork in it as well. So
I suppose they need that themselves.
Yeah, you've got to want to do it yourself as well.
Yeah. How does that responsibility feel? Because people do look to you. Obviously, you've got like the Rugby League, like the Chorley Panther aspect of it, like your players, staff. But then, is there a difference between the responsibility of people coming to you with, stoma and like colostomy and stuff like that? Does it feel different, or does one responsibility weigh more than the other? If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. I don't know if it does, thinking about it. I don't know, and I don't even know if they're different or I treat them differently.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a question, that. I would say they're pretty much the same. I try and juggle everything pretty evenly. Like sometimes, like I'll feel like, I've not replied to like 3 or 4 at Rugby Lads or something, or like on Colostomy WhatsApp. I'm not really one big one for talking in WhatsApp groups, apart from probably ours.
Yeah.
But that's only from a responsibility point of view, like posting things like, right lads, let's do this, or right lads, let's do that, and should we meet up, or meeting times this.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really get too involved in stuff like that. But no, it's a good question, that. I think I treat them probably the same. And I'd say they have the same responsibilities. It is hard juggling, getting back to everyone.
Yeah.
Like to be fair, I got forwarded an email the other day off the club, someone inquiring about playing, and I read it. Cheers, Tina.
See you, Tina.
When was it now? I think I replied about 6 days later. I completely forgot. I'd read it while doing something at work and then thought, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I've replied to him, but
it wasn't like...
No, I just completely forgot.
When I'm cold sweat, wake up at like 3
Yeah, I think I was driving. I thought, shit, I never replied to that lad. And then I think I pulled up here and was like, I'll do it now before I go to the gym.
Yeah.
But
so when you got the bike, you dealt with it and sort of, from what you're saying, and obviously knowing you, I can imagine you just sort of nailed in and dialed in. But obviously Rugby League was such a big part of your life.
Yeah.
How was that to not... Did you think you couldn't play again? Obviously I'm coming from like an education point of view.
I don't think it probably did cross my mind, but looking back, it probably didn't. I don't know.
I imagine people, like not using Josh as an example, but I know he played, and then obviously with what he was like, oh, I don't know if I can, and then Colostomy come along.
Yeah.
It was a
I don't even know, because I played here before. Did I play here? I played here before we spoke with Colostomy. I think I played 2 or 3 games. Can't remember. But I can't remember. I think I think I probably just thought, yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
But you're given all these. I'm a bit ignorant in a way, but you're given all this advice about, pardon me, sorry, hernias and core exercises and not overdoing it, and because you've had abdominal surgery, like they say, you shouldn't even picking a heavy kettle up and stuff like that. And then probably a bit pig ignorant, like I were here in gym.
Yeah.
I didn't overdo it, but I thought I can't. I weren't here straight away. Don't get me wrong. I didn't come here and be like, what?
Day after
deadlifts and stuff. But I can remember. I think that was more like a get out, really. Like just to switch off for a bit and come up here for an hour. But I couldn't drive, so I was relying on people to drop me off because of surgery and stuff. But I don't think I actually thought about I couldn't play rugby. Mm-hmm. I think I just did it.
Yeah,
randomly.
I love that.
I think I did. Yeah, I'm sure that the first one was bank key away, and I think we were short.
Yeah.
So I said, stuff it.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Balls to the
I think
wall.
I did. I think I played like 3 games that year. I think I can't remember properly, but I would like now. I would never think of playing for first team. That I would love to, but I don't even think about it. Whereas then, a few years ago, there were probably the opportunity of like, we've only got 16 this week, or someone's dropped out and with no one else. I'll go on, then I will do.
Yeah.
And I used to enjoy doing that. Not that I wouldn't now, but the opportunities were probably more then.
Yeah.
Plus, I was coaching with other people, like Mick and Davo and stuff. Then, so I don't know. I just went for. I think I'd like 3 or 4 games. And then the colostomy thing started.
Yeah.
But like everyone's different. Like you just said, Josh thought he couldn't. A lot of people think they can't.
Yeah.
But then I think it's all in your mind. But what you find with when people have got a colostomy or an ileostomy or whichever type they have, a stoma, everyone's different.
Yeah.
Obviously, some people are dealt a bad hand. Sorry to say it like that, but they are like not everyone's as lucky.
Yeah.
So like I do count myself as being very lucky. Nothing really bothers me with it. I can just get on with it.
Yeah.
I've been relatively lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something we're lucky.
Yeah. I'm going to be like pig ignorant here, but like and put you on the spot a little bit. What's the difference between an ileostomy and a colostomy?
There's ileostomy is the one I've got. Then there's a colostomy. Then there's a urostomy. Ileostomy, I think they all come out of different parts of the bowel.
Yeah.
And I think a urostomy's your bladder. Might be wrong. Someone will correct me. I've got an ileostomy.
Yeah.
But then there's like it's mad. I was thinking about it on the way here, like when the surgeon come to see me, Dr. Bomack, he was like, "Listen, I'm just a glorified plumber."
Yeah.
It took me a minute. I'm like, what's the hell am I glorified? But he just deals with pipes.
Yeah.
That's how he explained it. And he was like, right, what we're going to do, we're going to cut your pipe off here and bring it out your belly here. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
You've explained it so much easier than all these fancy words and doing this. But there's all, like, you're not being pig ignorant, but like there's all sorts of different things that they do and stuff. And like I have to have another operation. I can have mine reversed, to be fair.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not going to. It's with reversals. I think I'd have to have 2 operations, but it's not guaranteed to work.
Yeah.
So then I'd be back in the same situation. Whereas, if I keep the bag, I've still to have another operation. Time's ticking on that and I'll get grief off George for saying this because she keeps getting on at me to get onto him. There's like a 10-year window where they want to do it before.
Yeah.
Because the risks of cancer and other things increases, and I'm at I think I'm at 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And it sounds bad, but like I'm thinking, I don't really want to do it now because of this. And then we've got such thing next year.
Yeah. Goes back to that juggling and you're worried about.
And then I'm thinking, I said to George the other day or whenever the other week, should have probably had it done before we had kids, really.
Yeah.
Like juggling a 5-year-old and a 10-month-old, or however old they're going to be, while I'm pretty much bedbound or whatever for a short period of time. It ain't going to be easy, but I just have to bite the bullet and get on with it. I think at some point and say, right, I need this doing, and it's something I don't actually think about it that much, but then when I think about it, I think, oh shit, yeah, I've done that yet.
Another one where you're like driving and go, shit.
Yeah. Gotta have that. Oh. And it's not a simple operation either. It's quite a big operation. Probably big. I think I might be wrong again, but I think it's bigger than actually having the bag.
Yeah.
This part of it. So I don't know. We'll tie it all in at some point.
Yeah. I think like maybe interesting is the wrong word, but since coming down to Chorley and like meeting yourself and finding out more and being educated more through what you're doing, like not sucking you off or anything, but like, you know what I mean, like from what you're doing and like what you're sort of helping promote through colostomy and all that, and having the awareness days, like we did for the game and that. I didn't realise it's more common than you think.
A lot more. Yeah.
And like again, there's sort of why I thought it'd be good for having you on, because there's not a lot of education around there.
No, there's not really, because I were guilty of it. I can remember years ago, there still is. There was an advert, and it was like, and on radio, and it used to say blood in your poo and all that, and it was like the stigma of like old people. It was like, if you're over 60 and find this, and it's I can remember laughing about it in a way with a bloke I was working with, because he was over 60 and he was saying, fucking hell. You know, like saying, oh, they got it in for us at this age and blah, blah, blah. And there is or was this stigma of like, oh, it's an old people thing, or, you know, you don't really hear of people, but you do. I'm sorry for burping.
No, it's fine.
This white monster. It's like when I meet people through colostomy, it's mad. You know, there's quite a lot of people, you know, local people that you find out that have, and especially when I first started, they're like, oh, such and such body's got one of them, or such body's dad's got one, and this, you know, and you find out quite a lot of people having, you know, like even at rugby, you know, like the old chairman, I think it was his mum or dad, either had one or had to have one, and you think it's mad, and especially when you do the games and stuff and see how many people it does reach out to, it's crazy, and everyone not buys into it, but they do buy into it, and they come down and they have a good day and get involved and we do all sorts. It's brilliant.
And I think rugby league is, considering it's the heartlands, is like, it's joked in like M62 sport, but it's so inclusive. Yeah. Obviously, there's caveats to that, but incidents that we can talk about. But like, for the most part, people are super inclusive, and you find that, like, well, I mean, Widnes like inviting you to open up for, like, was it one of, like, it was a big game, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were playing Toulouse, and they needed to win one or both the last two games, or one of the last two games to get it playoffs or something. Inclusivity round. That was it.
And I'm not shitting on other sports and that, but you can't imagine that.
I don't think it would.
You know, like a football game, think it would. No. Maybe even union.
Because there probably is, but I don't know of another sport with a team dedicated like Team Colostomy is. We've mentioned between ourselves doing a few different things, but Team Colostomy UK is Rugby League. There's quite a lot of rugby union people involved in it, but it's all Rugby League. There's a few cricket. A couple of lads play cricket. I played cricket when I was younger. We've mentioned playing cricket, but it's Rugby League, and that's it.
I think it's with like the PDRL and stuff like that.
That's helped massively.
It's got that avenue to naturally slot into. Because I don't know if you want to explain like the systems of how people play for Team Colostomy, because like the short system and things like that, so which I think is really good for people who are unsure. If they want to do.
It depends where we're playing. Every game's different. That's the thing. It's never like we've played all full contact or all touch or anything. Some day, like the game the other week with red and yellow shorts, but they both meant the same thing, and it was just tag. Everyone else, if you're in normal shorts, it's full contact. That's like Masters and PDRL though. PDRL, there's different levels of that. Different levels of contact, should we say. But like two lads from Colostomy UK, they've, since starting at Colostomy UK, they now play for Leeds, PDRL. So it's like, you know, and when we played, it was a few years ago, we played at Featherstone against like a PDRL United. It was like Leeds, Wakey, Cass. it was M3. And one of them was like, "Why don't you come and play for us? You know, like, why don't you come play for Leeds?" And I actually got on to Chorley, and he was at Warrington at the time, and on the way home, and I said, "Who does PDRL at Warrington?" And I can't remember who it was. I was like, "Get me a contact number. I'll go. I'll play. Yeah, I'll play. I'll play whatever." And then when I got home and thought of it, I thought, I can't fit that in. No, I can't.
Another spoke to the wheel.
I just can't. I just can't do it. And you have to say no sometimes. So I didn't. Not saying I wouldn't one day, but it weren't the right time or anything to be doing that, to branching off into another. Because then I would have to say, right, I can't do this anymore. Or go away as much or work as much or whatever.
You think you struggle with that, saying no? Or do you think like
to rugby, yeah, to Chorley,
yeah?
I don't know. I was gonna say, and I don't know why, but obviously because I care. Like I've thought umpteen times about like when my eldest Ren, when he's newbies in September, I'll be like, right, that'll be me. I'll step down, open age, coach him. Said that since he was born. I'm still unsure of the idea of coaching him because I don't know what to do yet. But I've also thought, if I did that, would I be able to stay away from open age?
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd do
all your
that.
Other kids.
Well, yeah. Looking after everyone else. I don't know. I really don't know how I'd do that. I don't know. I do, like you said, you can't say no.
Yeah.
It's so hard. But like, I think that's progressively got worse, because a few years ago I'd have been like, I'll just stand by the odd Saturday, like one Saturday a month or something. Whereas now, no, I'm not working. No. I've got kids, or we're doing something with kids, and then I'm up here for the rest of the day, or we're away in Dalton or whatever.
Yeah.
But
and then you wrote off Sunday because you've been away.
Because you're dressed as Mexicans.
Yeah. But like, people don't see. People probably think it's Tuesday for an hour, Thursday for an hour, Saturday few hours, and then you're done. But like, well, I mean, we've just seen that, haven't we? Like being here before and sort of everything that goes down. Sweeping up. Like, there's a lot to it, isn't there?
Putting chairs out to dry. But then, it's all part of it. And if everyone did it, it'd be a lot easier. But everyone doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think you'd probably find that with every amateur sport, or every everything.
Any establishment.
Yeah. No, but I try to switch off, but I can't. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and I think George has learned. Well, she's not really had a choice, as horrible as it sounds. To like, I would do her head in about it.
Yeah.
And like, sat there on your phone, and it's not like you're scrolling. You're trying to find out who's available, or if pitches are fit, who can pick somebody up or whatever. It's just non-stop. And I think I won't say I struggle with it, but it does get a lot. I'm quite lucky because of my work. Like the last 3 years, the section I'm in, if you will, the work I do get quite a bit of time on and off in day where I can just like, put something in group or.
Yeah.
And then especially this year, like I said, with Connor and Matt helping with social media, I'm not sat there for an hour on a Friday morning or 10 o'clock after I leave here on a Thursday trying to put a social media post together at team and crop someone's headshot onto this team and Photoshop badges on and all sorts. So that, like that has helped a lot. But I don't know if I'd be able to step away from all that.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into sort of what you said there about how you switch off. But what I want to ask you is there anything you do to help you prioritise and plan? Is there anything you have in place or that you wish you had in place and you don't?
What, about everything?
Well, just generally, because like you've got all this going on.
I've had a diary for the last 2 years, but I've probably been better with my diary this last 2, but I'd still like to be better with that.
Yeah.
Like juggling things a bit better. And I'm quite bad for, I'll say, got a meeting tonight to George, and she's you not want to tell? Did you want to tell me? I'm like, I told you.
Yeah.
You know, that one.
Yeah.
And we all do it.
Yeah, definitely.
And you've definitely told them, but you've definitely not at the same time.
Like passing under your breath.
Yeah. I'll be back in an hour and it's 2 hours.
Shared calendars, mate, on Google.
Friday. Tried it, didn't work. I don't think she did it. Or I did, definitely. Yeah. I think I've still got mine, but I don't put on it.
Just no one looked at it.
Yeah, it's only me who does it. It's what was the question again?
So like systems you have in place for helping you prioritise, or wish you had. Is there anything that you've seen that you're like, wish I did that? Other than have like 5 personal assistants that deal with all your admin.
Oh no, I don't know. I think I do. I think I juggle everything quite easily. Not easily. That's wrong. Quite well.
Fluid. It's quite fluid how you do it.
Yeah, and I don't know how I do it. And I do get stressed, but I get stressed in different ways.
Yeah. Saturday afternoons at like 3 o'clock.
Yeah. First kick off.
Straight out top full. No names.
Sorry.
Joe Weston. He'll be fuming. I've said that.
I do wish I could juggle things a bit better. More so like times like I keep thinking I'd love to get away shooting more.
Yeah.
But like that's like going to Scotland, going to Ireland, going down south, and it's not. You can't nip. You're not nipping. No. You're a night, 2 nights.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll get easier as well because like Ren's been with me once, not away, but he's been shooting with me, and like if he gets into it, that's my ticket then.
Yeah.
Ren's coming with me, so yeah. I go through periods of like thinking, I wish I'd have done more of this, and I wish, but then that's life, innit? You always think, God, if I'd have done this, and you know,
it's very hard to maintain a level for everyone. I think a lot of people are guilty of, well, not speaking for people, but like from my experience and people that I know, I think sometimes there's an unrealistic expectation to maintain that and sort of like, because again, you go back to social media and you see all the shit of people like, fucking hell, they get up at 5 a.m. every day and run 20 miles.
Yeah. It's not realistic for the majority.
Yeah.
We're all guilty of looking at things and thinking, God, they've been gym, or God, how do they do that? Oh God, they've been on another, like you just said, a massive run or whatever. But it's not realistic I don't think a lot of it is realistic in day-to-day life unless you're really committed in that 1 or 2 avenues. But trying to juggle everything, you can't. There has to be a piece of you everywhere, don't you? You're into everything. And
I think it's interesting you said that about, you know, if you are super committed to one thing, it's very unlikely that you have the others. And I think if you are so laser focused, like, fair play, but the majority of people, it's very difficult to find the one thing that you're willing to give up for everything else. I think there is people that can do that.
There is.
I'm just not one of them.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'd love to be, as daft as it sounds, probably be more committed to coaching, shall we say. Like me and Alex we start off brilliantly coaching plans, writing this out. May not seem like it, but we do. It's all in the diary. Yeah. You know, and then you don't get numbers turning up, but to be fair, it hasn't been that bad this year.
No.
We've been all right. But you kind of just lose that momentum about it all, and I think I look back. Well, I don't look back on, but like I think of like motivate me to motivate you.
Yeah.
I find that a lot with rugby, especially at our level.
Yeah.
I'll turn up so motivated, out way pumped up.
Yeah.
To max, knowing what we're doing. Get down there and think, no wingers or centres here today.
Yeah.
No halves.
Yeah.
Or where's all my props? We can't do that with no 9. Yeah. You know, and you think shit. And then it is about adapting and stuff, but like it's like I said, motivate me to motivate you. I find I need that sometimes.
Yeah,
you know,
it's reciprocal.
Yeah.
That seesaw, isn't it?
And I do find it difficult sometimes. You know, but we just have to get on with it.
Yeah. So say like you've had one of them weeks, you found it difficult. You've had 3,000 messages, WhatsApp, Instagram, whatever it is. You know, your phone's fucking red hot.
Yeah.
How are you switching off?
Probably don't. Shit. Probably don't. Take dog out.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to say, to be fair, one of the only times I probably don't go on my phone or I'm replying is probably when I take the dog out or away shooting or something like that.
Because that's like nomad almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how is that? Is that just like, obviously you do it because you love it, but like, is there a part of it that's just like, oh, thank fuck that I'm uncontactable?
There probably is in a way, yeah.
Yeah.
But then I do like to be in contact as well.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah. It's like swings, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a bit of FOMO, like fear of missing out, even though it's not happening.
Yeah.
You know,
you're just scared that it might just like, just go.
Like, I think that's why George doesn't mind me going away, because she knows I'll just switch off.
Yeah.
You know,
come back recharged.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. I do, like, I've done that a few times this year where we've been here Saturday afternoon and then I've gone straight up to Scotland.
Yeah.
Switch off for a day or two.
Yeah.
It does help. It's just a reset button, isn't it, in a way? I don't think I consciously think that, though.
Yeah.
I probably do think, shit, I need to get away, but it's more like, oh, I can't wait to go shooting. It's not like I need to get away and disappear for 48 hours.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm going to Ireland on Friday to go shooting for, 4 days with my dad. I just can't wait to go there. It's not that I'm going away in middle of nowhere, you know, and it's a retreat.
Yeah.
Which some people would see it as, like you just said.
Yeah.
Which is a nice thought. But it's also, I'm not really going and not doing anything.
No,
you're walking.
It's hard work, isn't it?
Yeah, you're walking up them hills and covering plenty K and stuff like that. And I don't know, I do find it hard to switch off, though. Like, I'll be in middle of nowhere with just me and dog shooting or whatever, and I'm still thinking about shite.
Yeah.
Like you've seen before, when if we've won and then morning after I'm in middle of nowhere and I'll put a video on singing a Panther song or something random, you know, and then I'm walking around singing it in my head and I think, fucking hell, shut up.
Yeah. It's very human, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think people sort of forget to be human sometimes.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
I think they're like, oh, well, I need to be like this and I need to be
like
this.
robots or just follow a trend.
And like,
whatever suits and stuff.
Yeah, that's sort of why I'm doing this. It's for sure that, you know, people need to be people.
Yeah, of course they do, yeah. And like we said before, it's not possible to, you know, be that shit. We're up at 5 a.m. We're doing a 10k run every morning. Yeah, it is, but that's got to be one of your sole focuses, all your sole focus and dedication. Fair play if you do it. You know, like I said, I'll come here to the gym and use the gym 4 or 5 times a week, but then I might have like 2 weeks off, not intentionally even, like I don't get a chance to get here. Or like I'll finish late one night, or then I'll have a meeting here. Kids and parents' evening, and you know, it's just
life.
It's just life. I don't eat myself up about it.
No.
Or out like that. So
transitioning nicely into that.
Yes.
What were 3 habits that you would like recommend? You know, someone, the everyday person that you do that you think, you know, I think that would be beneficial for someone.
3 habits that I'd recommend.
Everyone struggles with a third usually.
I don't know, because I like to see that everyone's different. I do have habits, but I don't know. Tough question, that, Jack. You put me on the spot. I don't know. I like to think I'm quite treat everyone quite level.
Yeah.
To begin with, I don't like, especially what I found through rugby. Like I said before, everyone's different. Everyone you've got to treat everyone differently. But you've got to treat them the same, if you will.
You've got to have an entry level.
Yeah.
And you've got to do that with everyone.
Yeah. Like, I couldn't, you know, like, you behave differently with someone than you with someone else, because you know that they don't work like that or something. Habit-wise, though, I don't know. Do you
want me to ask you the next question?
Go on,
see if this rejigs anything. So, if there's one habit that you've done in your life that you've stopped doing, or a habit you wish you did, and you could introduce it into your life, what would that habit be and why? It can be anything. It can be a routine. It can be an habit. Like mine would be journaling again.
Would it?
Yeah.
Would it? Why have you stopped?
I'm a bit like that. What you said, like I'll get into something and I'm like, I'm keen on this. I'm keen on this, and then I'm just and like I'm very good at sort of dropping in enough to keep it ticking over.
Yeah.
But not at like the capacity of which I'd like to do it. It's not daily. Yeah, like I'd like to be doing it. Because I've got so much shit in here, mate, that I'd burn. And like if I found in my journal before bed and I can get some of it out onto paper, it's very cathartic. And I'm not like fucking binging off
spinning
all.
off till 1 o'clock in the morning.
I need to have like
shite.
Yeah, I need to have meditative habits before I sleep.
Do you?
So like I have to read. I fall asleep reading, but like honestly, sometimes I can be reading, and I'll be like doing that. You know, like fucking.
See, I do that when I read.
Yeah.
So I don't read now.
Oh dear.
I wish I did.
Yeah.
But I find myself either just falling asleep or switching off.
Well, I had to stop reading non-fiction before bed, so I read fiction now before bed.
Why?
Because I don't feel the need.
You couldn't buy into it.
Not that I don't have to buy into it, but there's like a story or a plot. Yeah. So if I'm like dropping, it's always going to come through. But if I'm reading like, Mindset by Carol Dweck, and it's like, oh, we're talking about this neural pathway in the frontal lobe, and if I'm fucking like decking out for that sub, that sub chapter, and I like power through. There's no way I'm remembering that. But like if I go to a fiction book, I'm like, oh, fucking Doris has shanked her husband in living room. I remember that later on because I bring it back up.
Yeah.
So I found that like I've listened to non-fiction now.
Yeah.
Or I read non-fiction if I get a chance in the day. But like predominantly I read fiction to switch me off. But even that sometimes I can be falling asleep, put the book down, and then if it's not there, it's like a comfort blanket. My mind just goes, poof. It's like, right, you're awake again now.
Really?
Yeah. Pump me. Like, it just goes. Yeah, but that's why I want, like, I've got notepads by my bed now. So
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So
is that inspired?
Writing stuff down, I have to do that.
Yeah.
I have to do that. Like my diary, I have to write stuff in there.
Oh, is it paper or diary?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, mine's electronic.
No.
My handwriting's
not that.
Gosh.
Dog.
Yeah. Like, it's brilliant. I could write anything down.
You could read it.
I could read it, but no one else could. It could be as personal as possible, but like no one will be deciphering
no one's transcribing.
Nah.
Writing stuff down's key, I think.
Mm.
I'm murder for forgetting stuff.
Yeah.
But I think everyone is though.
Yeah.
I think people say, no, I don't, but you do.
Yeah.
I'll forget something that I was told an hour ago off George before I left, but I'll remember what I had for tea when I was 3.
Yeah.
It's weird.
TikTok brain, Matt.
But my little lad's like that, Ren's like that.
Yeah.
Like he'll say, oh, Dad, do you remember when I was 3 and I cried because I did this? And it's like, what?
Weird what you keep in, isn't it?
I think God is just like me in that way. But habit-wise, I don't know.
So you have a paper diary.
Try and do what you enjoy. How can I put it? There was actually, going back to going away and switching off, I joined a shoot on my own, which I'd never done because I always go with my dad or my granddad. It's like a family thing.
Yeah.
And with some shooting down south, my dad was in a shoot in Scotland, and then this opportunity to come up to join another shoot in Scotland just past Carlisle. And I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'll take the hit. If it's rubbish, it's rubbish. So I'd go to work van, keeping that. And it weren't a productive place. It was nice, beautiful place, middle of nowhere, like 3.5 mile over at Moors to get to this secluded spot with just like, there was a couple of farms there, that was it. And it was, thinking back, it was like, just try and how can I put it now? It was like try as much as you can to do what you enjoy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
prioritize doing what you enjoy.
I remember I did a reel or something on my shooting page on Instagram, and I can't remember what I've captioned it, and it was something like that. Like prioritizing doing what you enjoy, not just like being this robot of work,
social conformity.
Following this regime of what you, like we said before, like what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
Or what you think you should do because everyone else is doing.
Well, it's like reading again. Like I bet there's not many, like, you're probably gonna get piss taken out of me or something like that, but like there's probably not many males like late 20s who are reading crime thrillers before bed.
There's probably
switch
not,
off,
no.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm at a point where like, fuck it, that's what I enjoy.
Like, I've been giving George not loads of grief, but she started reading, I think it was May. Bought her a Kindle not long ago. She's done like 40 books since May. And that is not like her at all, but I know that's what she likes doing now. At night, I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, just 2 more chapters.
Yeah.
You know, and I take the mate and she'll kill me for this, because I bought the Kindle. It's my Amazon Prime. She's reading all these, like, I don't know, bollocks, like Yankee books. I don't know, like,
but it's so easy done. Well, once you're in it,
I got this email the other day, and she will kill me. It come up, part 2 of the saucy cowboy novel, and I'm like, what's this?
Just dated her.
What's this? And because the Kindle subscription or whatever, it's free, and she'd bought this one at like $2.99. So I called her out. I was like, "What's this? What's this saucy cowboy thing you're reading?" Oh, no, it's...
You're coming back in fucking cowboy hat and fucking kick a boots, lad.
Come on.
But yeah, it's probably like. Also, women read faster than men.
Oh, I don't know if she does it.
I'll be honest with you.
She's saying all
like 3 books to
all
one.
her friends are like that now.
Yeah.
All her friends. She's like, "Oh, you think I'm bad? Such body's read 2 books today."
Yeah.
What?
I have a mate.
What?
There's an app called Out of Myself and Goodreads for like you and your pals talk about your books, and like you put it on like if you've read it, and like we got like my nan on it and a couple of mates, but like fucking she just flies through books. It's like 3 or 4 a week, and I'm
That's
like,
what she's like.
It takes me like 20 minutes to read a chapter. I'm like, so they went to the woods.
The only time I'll read now is when I go to Ireland, which is twice a year shooting. It's not too bad now because the ferry we get now is only 3 hours, where it used to be 8. So I'd take something like, I think it's The 50th Law by 50 Cent and Robert Greene or stuff like that. And I'd get into it, bookmark it, and then on the way back read a bit more, and then never touch it again. Yeah. And then have to start again next time. I would murder for doing that.
Can't you have to start again? You can't like go.
I'll always take a book with me.
Yeah.
With the intention of reading it, but I think the last couple of times I've been in my diary.
Yeah.
You know, like especially October, I'm on January when we go pre-season. So it's like, right, let's write this out, and I'll get that, and I'll write that, and
you need Audible for your van.
I do.
Yeah, class Audible because like you can just turn it up at like 1.65 and it's like gibberish, but as long as you can hear what they're saying, Count of Monte Cristo, like this classic Alexander Dumas, I think it is. I think it's like a 72-hour Audible, like 72 hours, and I listened to it on like 1.8 because the guy read it at snail's pace. That's why it was so long. But even that, you're not like 20.
72 hours.
It's something like that. It's something obscene.
See, I did that with one of Goggins's books.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm working away, like not working away, but if I'm working, say, at Carlisle or Workington or down in Buxton where it's like 2 hours, 2.5 hour drive, I'll put something on like that or a podcast on or something. Rather than just hammer me music.
Yeah.
And then you can if you can invest into it, but you can also switch off at the same time as well.
Not sort of be. Yeah, I get that. You can sort of be it's just happening, and you're not really in it.
Yeah. I think I do need Audible. I've done I did one at Goggins once. I did one as well. Can't remember what it was. I do wish I did read more though.
Yeah, well, there you go. That can be your one.
I'll try. It won't happen.
We got it. We got there. We got
there. I still can't think of 3 habits.
Well, I'm sure we can decipher through what we've talked about. Yeah. There's definitely a few that you've mentioned and not through.
Definitely.
Nice one. Thank you for coming on,
Pleasure
chatting, and sort of being open.
We got it done eventually.
Yeah, we got it done. Before you go,
like
tell people where they can find out more about like Team Colostomy, anything you've got going.
Team Colostomy UK. It's all on Instagram, Twitter, X. Yeah. I don't really do. I do have it, but I don't really go on it that much anymore. Instagram, Facebook, Team Colostomy UK, Chorley Panthers, Team Colostomy have a website as well. There's all sorts of bits on there. There's bits that I've done for them, self-help stuff. There's umpteen websites about stoma stuff and reaching out, and if you're ever struggling, look into it.
Perfect.
Or in general, just reach out.
Yeah, educate yourself, because like I said, I
ignorance is bliss.
It is sometimes. And
what was the thing I put on that time when it happened?
Oh, what was
ignorance is summer.
Oh, I'd find it. I know what you're on about.
I'll have to look now.
Yeah,
quickly.
see if you can find it.
When was it that? Was it last year?
The podcast in itself, that was.
When were it? Midway through August.
Yeah.
No, a bit earlier than that.
Yeah.
Because the return fixture was set. I'll not be able to find it now, will I? Come on, he's got to find this. Tick, tick.
Go and search and type ignorance.
Could have just done that, couldn't I? In the age of information, ignorance is a choice.
It is.
Bang.
What a perfect way to end it.
It was April.
April.
We were way out.
No, we
breaking
began with
down
it.
barriers.
Began with